Well, hello, and welcome to Mrs. Bell's Sweet Treats and More. This is my YouTube channel. Today is Monday, and this is Monday Moments. We are fast approaching the change in weather and looking forward to some not only weather to warm up, but some simpler recipes. And since this is coming up on Easter and Mother's Day, I wanted to share one of the simplest recipes that I could regarding a side or for your meal. I have made these eggs for some time. These are called Heavenly Eggs Delight. And once you see the ease of making it, I hope that you will try the recipe. Most people call them deviled eggs, and if you're like me, I have had a lot of people have made deviled eggs, and I've heard recipes, and I have not. It took a while. I think I maybe had just a few recipes that I liked that were really the what I was looking for in a deviled egg. So years ago, I tried something different, and I want to share it with you. There are only three ingredients, and one of them includes the egg. So that shows you that there are only two ingredients that are needed. I am including paprika to top it, but you don't have to include the paprika. This recipe is very simple, and it is very easy to make, and oh my goodness, it changed the way I saw eggs. They are heavenly egg delights, and I hope you found that to be true. I have white eggs this time. They were on sale. But I'm only going to be making 6, which cut in half will be 12, because I have a smaller family. We're not, right now, I don't need that many eggs. Not because we won't eat them, trust. We will eat them. But the recipe is very simple. First, you take the amount of eggs that you want, it's up to a dozen or more. Make sure you have a pot big enough to hold those eggs. And we will go into the recipe below. But I just wanted to start and tell you we're going to be making Heavenly Eggs Delight. And with our ingredients, now you can certainly use Miracle Whip, which is what I use, or whatever brand of dressing that you have. If you have Miracle Whip, some people prefer mayonnaise. You can use mayonnaise certainly for this recipe. The Miracle Whip will make it a sweeter. Certainly you can use whatever you have on hand. So I take I boil my eggs. I put them in a pot that already has boiling water in it, and I place my eggs in that boiling water for about 10 to 12 minutes and allow it to simmer. And then I take it off the fire and off my stove. It's not fire. And I rinse my eggs until the shells come off. You know, you rinse them and crack them and pull the shells off. That's really the work. So I hope you enjoy the recipe. I'm going to get started and take my eggs off the stove. I've already boiled them on the stove about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go grab them, and then we're going to just mix up our eggs. Well, I'm back, and we have started with our eggs. Right now I have a couple of them I've already peeled, and I want to just show you how I did it. When I put the eggs in the boiling water, raw eggs in the shell in the boiling water, and then let it simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes, that tends to help with the not only the egg hard boiling, but it makes up for easier shell removal. Now, sometimes I've made these and the shell removal has not been pretty. I've lost some yolk in it, but using it this way for that 10 to 12 minutes, already boiling water, it helps for an easier peel. Now, you still will have to rinse these off because those little shells can still be hanging out. So I'm gonna sit them back in the water it's kind of it kind of reminds me of residual. You know, when you have moved on in your life and gone into a different place, and then you start seeing when I'm peeling the egg, and I have, if you've ever had an egg that you cooked, whether scrambled or however you cook it, and then all of a sudden you get that crunch of a shell, it changes the. For me, sometimes I don't want to eat anything else with that egg because I'm thinking it's more in there. But not to worry. Sometimes there's residuals. There's residuals left over in our lives from what happened in the past. And sometimes it's important to, you know, bite into that egg because it's sometimes a reality check that you ain't all that. But sometimes it's just also for us to say, you know what, be thankful because you know what, I remember when I was a eggshell hanging out before, and now I'm not anymore, you know, or I'm growing. So don't let the residual, the eggshell make you think, no, that's not going to work for me. The other thing about making my heavenly egg delights, was I had the privilege of knowing a woman. She was a relative of mine many, many years ago, and she used to make deviled eggs. Now this woman made some serious deviled eggs, but she would pull out her spices, and she would have probably 13 spices on the counter. And every time she made deviled eggs, she would measure out each and every one of them. And I thought that was pretty wonderful, except I don't use some of those spices that she had every day. So I started thinking about, what do I have in front of me? That's where we are in life today. What do we have in front of us? Sometimes we are so busy looking for somebody with the next best idea. Somebody's got a book idea we thought about, now somebody else has it, and now we all heard about it, and we think that that's it. No, we have a project that somebody took over and they got credit for it and we didn't. That doesn't change the knowledge that you have and the invention that you have. It was still yours. So I started thinking, you know, what do I have in front of me? Well, I had garlic. You know, we all see garlic powder, garlic salt. I don't use the garlic salt and onion salt and celery salt because they already have salt. I generally use the powder. But I still thought, you know, when I tried to make the eggs, I used garlic and it tastes okay, but no, it didn't do the trick for me. So I started thinking, and I found a spice. And you will probably, this will be your by far super secret squirrel ingredient. Okay, remember we used Jell-O in the cake? We're not using Jell-O now, but we use Jell-O in the cake. Well, we're going to use this ingredient, and you're going to find it in the salad dressing section. It's called Italian salad dressing. It can be zesty or plain. This will be your go-to, I promise you. So the reason why I chose this was because this tends to have so many ingredients that I needed that I don't need to use every day, but I can use it in this little packet. This is a powerful little packet. You will be surprised what you can do with this. So I'm going to now cut my eggs. I want you to see, and then I'm going to turn off the camera while I continue doing it so I won't take your time. So I take my egg and I slice it down the middle this way. And then I take my yolk, and these are still a little hot. And I put my the yellow part into a bowl. And then I put my my egg white on a plate. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back with you. Well, I'm back, and I wanted you to see how beautiful the egg yolks are. The egg yolks, the way that we did it, the boiling has made a difference. Now, sometimes if you boil them too long, they come out green. It doesn't change the taste. So don't feel bad if your eggs are not yellow like this.
And if they come out a little greenish gray, they're done. So that's all that's important. So I am using Miracle Whip. You do not have to use Miracle Whip. You can use salad dressing that you like, that you make sandwiches with, or you can use mayo. I like the sweeter, so that's why I chose Miracle Whip. Now back to my the relative of mine that made this. This seasoning has about 10 of those ingredients that she needed. It has the celery, it has the garlic and the onion, it has a little bit of salt, it has pepper, it has red pepper flakes. So it has quite a bit of the ingredients that you use. Most deviled eggs that I have had in the past have either been just boiled eggs with mayo and a little bit of garlic and some paprika, or they didn't have much pizzazz. These can be as spicy as you want them, or as subtle as you want them, but it will not be. It won't be ordinary. I promise you. So what I do is I take my yolk, all my yolks, and I put my egg whites aside as they're sliding around. And this came out really pretty because of the time that we spent putting them together. The egg yolk, again, we're going back to the egg. When we have eggs, I've had eggs scrambled. There's so many ways that you can cook an egg. You can cook it, you can scramble it, you can fry it, you can bake it, you can poach it. I like mine hard, cooked hard if it's fried with the yolk done and crispy edges. Some people like it runny. That's fine. You do your egg. You do you. But you're not limited with eggs. There are other recipes that people use to make eggs. I enjoy making taking my egg, whipping it up, putting some bacon or some meat in it with spinach and some red pepper or onion, and baking that in a muffin pan. Oh my goodness, that is so good. I put spinach in it, and it's a delicious, delicious breakfast food. I've made it ahead of time so that I don't have to do it over and over and put it in the freezer, because sometimes we don't have the time. That's what brings us back to this this wonderfulness here. It doesn't take a lot of time. If the time you take is the 10 minutes of boiling the egg, and then you see the egg yolk, how beautiful that is. Well, here we go. There are no precise measurements, because you're going to be making this your way. I don't want you to feel that you have to, or think that you have to follow a specific recipe. When you add the ingredients, you're going to get your Miracle Whip or your mayonnaise or whatever you use, the consistency that you want it to look like. So what I do is I've got my yellow pretty much the way I want it. And then I take some, maybe a heaping tablespoonful. I'm going to add a little more because I know that it's going to, but you add the way you want. Now I continue using the fork because it mixes it better to me. Okay, so I stirred that all up, and it looks like egg salad a little bit. Now, you stir it until you get the consistency that you want. And this is what mine looks like. I'm going to add just a dot more, because then we're going to add our secret ingredient. So as I stir it, I'm making sure I'm getting the bottom and the sides, because we want that deliciousness to really go throughout. And then I take And you can do the same. Taste it. Taste what you got. It's your food. Taste it. It tastes okay. Tastes like egg salad. Now, here we go. This little packet will do at least a dozen eggs. So if you have, I really want you to try it and use as little. If you're unsure, all those spices, all those colors. So I'm going to take about a third of the packet. And that's because I like it really spicy. You don't have to use that much. You can use more. You can use less. But for this one, I want you to taste it. When you do something, sometimes people don't like looking in the mirror at themselves, looking at their reflection or hearing their own voice. That reflection is you. It doesn't change because you don't like looking in the mirror. You may not like what you see. And then you have to ask yourself, why? Why don't I like what I see? Are you seeing something through somebody else's eyes? Or are you looking through your own eyes? Nobody knows your experience. Nobody knows why you're where you are. There are things that we do in life and we mess up, like with the egg, and we accidentally put the egg, get a little bit of shell in our egg. We don't throw away all the eggs forever, and we don't eat cake or anything that has eggs in it. No. Taste your food. Look in the mirror. Tell that man, tell that woman, tell that child, tell that girl, tell that boy, tell whoever you are. All of this space is mine. Nobody has a right to my space but me. And when I look at me in the mirror, that is me. Nobody can take my place and nobody's like me. So no matter what I feel, why am I feeling this way? Think about, why are you feeling that way about yourself? Go look in that mirror. Look at all of you. Hey, can't nobody replace you. So when you're making your egg, taste it. You taste it and see. I'm going to see how this tastes. Of course, I'm going to say it tastes wonderful. I'm going to add a tad bit more because I like mine spicy. You don't have to do that. You see the red flakes, all of that? It's worth it. So I'm stirring this up. And I have another knife. I'm going to use my spoon because I've used both knives. And I'm going to take this and start adding it to my egg whites. So I just scoop. Now some people pipe these in, you know, have those cool little contraptions. I think they're ever so precious. But if you don't have it, I don't want you not to make it. What I do is I go ahead and make sure I have enough, have it all the way around so I don't overstuff. And then I go back and use my fork to make it look kind of cool. So I'm just adding. And the flavor, you can add more, you can add less. But I promise you, your eggs will never, nobody will ever say, nobody will ever accuse you of having boring egg, because these are heavenly egg delights. I have eaten them for, I cooked them for Christmas and all the holidays. It's a side, and sometimes I just make them during the week because my family enjoys them so much. And if you think they taste fabulous when you make them, you need to check them out the next day. They have those flavors marinate. I think that this is one of my favorites, It's kind of like that pound cake, the 4-ingredient pound cake. Not because the pound cake is my recipe or because it is something that's what's in front of you. Let's get back to what's in front of you. You're in front of you, right? Sometimes we're looking around, as I mentioned before, for someone more that's smarter or someone that's prettier or someone that's smaller or taller. And we're looking around and we're thinking there's something wrong. You know, why would I be the one? I like to be in the background. It's good to be in the background. I love the background. But it's also important for you to know that you need to step up in your space. Sometimes people just need you. And you're trying to put Susie Q up. It's good to promote others. When was the last time you promoted yourself? I used to teach little children. I taught the little bitty ones and the up to about 12. And we would end the class and I would say, they would tell me, you know, how they hug their mom, they hug their dad, they hug a relative, and, or, you know, when they go into bed at night or something like that. And I said, when was the last time you hugged yourself? Oh, Miss Bell, when have you hugged yourself? We take so much time outside of us. When you make these eggs, I want you to hug yourself and say, Now, I have filled them. Are they going to be perfect? No. Are they going to be pretty? No. Of course, if you were using that cool equipment, you could probably make it gorgeous. And then I take a little paprika. And I just put a little sprinkle on it. It doesn't want to come out because the eggs are so delicious. The paprika is kind of shy. Like you may be sometime. Don't be shy. Come on out. Try this recipe. Together we can do this. If I can come up with this using just 2 ingredients, plus the eggs, of course, imagine what you can do. You could take this further than I did. And don't forget, you can use this, the Italian, this one, or you can use the Zesty. The Zesty gives you a, ooh, but they are both deliciousness. So here are our heavenly egg delights. I hope you get to make them and post and let us know. Look, I'm not the best cook in the world, and I'm not trying to be the best cook in the world. I cook for my family, and my family loves what I cook. I want to encourage everybody. Together, we can do this. Don't be shy. When you look in the mirror, take a picture of yourself holding your eggs and let us know how you liked it. You have a good one. Take care until next time. Have a fabulous week. And do you. Bye-bye.